Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekend Rental, episode 130. We are your gaming and geek culture podcast. As always, my name is Ryan, and I'm joined by Andy.
Hey.
And Biff.
Hey, guys.
If you enjoy our content, head on over to geekade.com, where you're going to find podcasts on video games, movies, music, television, comics, and so much more. Geekade.com. What's your geek? Back with another one over the 5-year mark. One episode closer to 10 now, right? It's happening.
All right.
That was not a lot of enthusiasm. We're going to make it 5 years, 6 weeks, maybe.
We're off to a good start. From the old folks' home.
Yeah, is that where we're headed? Oh, man, I would love to see us last long enough to where we're all incontinent and a little bit like delirious and trying to do this.
Oh, so many diaper changes.
Our 10-year,
right.
Basically.
Right. The best part would be you could listen to the episode yourself later, and it would seem like a whole new podcast for the people you didn't know because you'd forget the dementia. It's great.
Going around being like, have you ever heard of this Weekend Rental podcast? It's so good. You're on it. I am.
What?
That was my old person voice too.
I liked it. So what's
nobody talks to me anymore, so I have to podcast.
Well, that's true of today. So, what's everyone been up to? Playing any games? Dying from the summer heat?
0 games on my end. My wife had surgery a week ago, and we're going on 2 weeks on Thursday. And it really has been single dadding it up, just taking care of kids and letting my son do all the video game playing and Fortniting and just to keep him busy and trying to take care of a 1.5-year-old. Believe me, I would love to sit and play games, but I've spent more time just sitting next to my wife watching ridiculous TV. So, yeah, Big Bang Theory, done. It's done. We finished it. It's gone.
So with your son, you're basically tossing a Lunchable and a Switch at him, and you're fend for yourself.
Exactly. My daughter was gone. She was in Colorado for a week, and I couldn't wait till she got back so I could be like, please take this little one for a while. I need you to take this one. So, yeah, it's been rough, but I'm hoping she's healing up where that's going to give me a little more freedom to maybe sneak away, play some video games. And by the time we normally play, I mean, we're kind of 9 o'clock start, 9:30 start.
Yeah.
I need to be in bed at that point. That kid is exhausting.
Yeah. I bet, but everything's good.
Yeah, everything is good. Now it's just 6 weeks of waiting and not doing a whole lot.
Nice.
Yeah. Not super fun stuff.
No. I played a video game that I would also summarize with not super fun stuff. I don't know if everybody saw, but Power Washing Simulator
what
hit Game Pass. And we'd seen a little bit of it. My son and I like Neebs Gaming. They'd done an episode, and I downloaded that thing. It's 4 gigs or whatever. And it is as far as simulators go, it is that, and only it's not like Farming Simulator or Ranch Simulator or
you just power wash.
SimCity it's exactly what it sounds like. The only incentive is to get the job done. And if you're a person like me with OCD, this game is hell because you have to be methodical about it. You can't just quit mid-mission, and then watching someone else do it not to the way that you want them to do it is pure torture. And I'm going to uninstall that piece of shit and just cry about the 2.5 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
How are these simulators, where do they stop at this point? Who is man, this is a really good idea. I was power washing a house. I think we can make a video game out of it. What do you think?
Well, and
have you power washed a house though? It's pretty good.
Oh boy, I started. So the first level is a van, right? And like that was fun because it was like 40 minutes later. I'm like, yeah,
40 minutes,
clean. Dude. It's so long. And then my kid got the second mission, and the second mission goes ape shit. You go from a van in a contained garage to an entire backyard. There's a shed, there's a pond, there's a deck, there's a swing set, there's a grill, there's a mower, and like it had been a hot day already, like this Sunday that we sat down to play it, and he starts going to town on it. And I know, no joke, like I was just exhausted from the heat. I nodded off for an hour. I woke up. He was only like 70% through that level. And I was like, dude, like, do you want me to pull the plug on this? He's like, yes. Like, all right.
Is it a business model? Like you are a power washing business and then you get paid and you build your business. Upgrade your
stuff. Yep.
So you basically have like 4 nozzles, you know, for like the different strengths and sprays, and then you can get some additives as far as chemicals, but other than that, it's just basically a first-person shooter. You got stand, crouch, prone. You get a little thing that shows you where the crud is, like it lights it up orange or yellowish, and that's the game. And
oh man,
like I said, with my personality, that did not fit well, and it was torture.
Oh, see, our household, it has taken up storm. Like there's 3 people that fighting over the Xbox to play this simulation game. Yeah, it's some of those get crazy long. Like I think my son was playing one where you do a playground. The entire playground is just all dirt, and oh man, and especially the way, like you said, how different people play. He plays by, I have to clean up this one part first, and then I have to move on to the next part.
Yes.
And very methodical that way. And
that's my style too.
Oh, see, I'm just like spray it with the biggest nozzle, try and get, you know, as much done as you can and then go from there. But yeah, that took like 3 hours for him, I think, to beat that one level. But man, yeah, my wife just loves it as well. So she's been trying to figure out a way to do a co-op, and it's not split screen, but
yeah, it's a bummer.
Gonna have to try.
Have we hit an all-time low in gaming where we work all day and then we want to play games like we're working? Like, I mean, where have we gotten that video games?
This is for the
now?
office type, the executive type. You know, they need to see what manual labor is all about. You know, it's mowing simulator.
I want to spend time with the common people, the commoners, the peasants.
You just want to shut your brain off and just relax. But yeah, it's funny. I definitely share your son's style. I can't do that full wash thing, like the biggest, widest spray. That's bullshit to me. I'm 15 PSI. I am back to forth. Everything is done when I hit the bottom. Like I can't do the big wash and like detail after. It's not in me.
I don't know if you paid attention to the storylines, quote unquote
storyline. No,
there's like text messages and stuff. There is some weird stuff in that. Like,
interesting.
We cleaned a house and then a ghost came out of it, and then you're cleaning up the car of this person that was a ghost, and then the mayor's cat is lost, and every level that you're in, there's cat prints everywhere, and apparently at some point there's like Bigfoot's involved somewhere, but
I don't think I'm going to get that far. I think I'm done. I need to be done.
We might be done. We might be finishing that game. We'll see.
Wow. Platinuming that one, huh?
Yeah.
If you 100% that, I don't know.
It's kind of weird because there's a lot of these out, and I've played some of them. Like even that, there was one recently called like House Flipper or something like that, which is basically cleaning houses and like doing small repairs. And I played that for a half hour, and that just didn't seem like it was a good time at all. And I've done like car mechanic ones and stuff like that. Have you attacked
the lawnmower simulator? I feel like you'd really like that.
No, that one it hit at the wrong time. Otherwise I would have been into that one, I'm sure too. But I don't know. There's something just really cathartic about this one that kind of sticks.
Yeah. It's addictive, and I hate it for it.
Well, it's like, power washing is fun in real life too, but you
within certain, like 30 minutes of power washing is fun.
Right.
Like 3 hours is oof.
At least you're not going to like slice off your arm or something.
Yeah.
That's
what they need is like that extra layer of depth where you can fuck up and like you went too high and like stripped the finish off of like your shed.
Yep.
Like that's what it needs. Not real enough for a simulator.
Yep. Next Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. Yeah. The only other thing I've been playing besides that is I went back to the Pac-Man collection just because it's so easy to pop in and out of a couple games of Battle Royale here and there. But then we kind of got sick of that. So I started up Pac-Man 256, which is that mobile game where like you just emulates level 256 where you run out of memory and it corrupts. So it's like a endless runner of Pac-Man. I think most people have played it. What I didn't realize though is that on this collection, it's a multiplayer game and you're like co-op tag teaming and like trying to get through the level and sharing power-ups. You can revive players. It adds a lot of fun and replayability and chaos to an already pretty solid little mobile game. Highly recommend.
So if the person you're playing with, if the bottom hits them, they're done, right? Or
they're dead, but then like, how if you progress long enough and you're doing well enough, like a spot will kind of corrupt and then it'll drop a power up or like a credit. They drop like that. So then you can pick them up and go over them and bring them back in.
Okay.
So as long as one person's alive, you can bring everybody back. So pretty cool. So that collection's worth it for 2 games now. Well, 3, I guess. Pac-Man Battle Royale, and this one.
Have you played those mobile games in there? Those are weird.
Yeah, I was playing like that weird. Did you play like what is it? Hack Moto, where like you're just like basically bashing stuff off a floating platform.
Yep.
That is such a bizarre choice. Terrible.
Yeah. Nothing to do with Pac-Man, really.
No. It's real bad. Real bad. Yeah.
Well, I noticed that the Steam sale was still going on at one point a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't actually bought a Steam game in a long time. So I checked that out. Got some stuff that was on crazy good sale, and some stuff that I had already, I think, from some other account or something. But yeah, we've been playing through some of that, and Duck Game. Finally got that on Steam and booted that up, and yeah, that's been a good family game for sure.
Oh, it's the best. You swearing at each other yet?
Not quite that, no, but there's definitely some strategies that some people are finding very annoying.
Such as
using the little rubber, the one-shot things that just like push you. There's a few levels that are just that. Oh my gosh, that's trying to kill somebody just by like knocking them just like a few centimeters over.
I think when you got that many people on you, like there's that one level where you get those and you spawn in on like that one chunk of land with a tree. And like the first person to realize like all I have to do is jump up and everyone else is going to kill each other instantly. Like that's so satisfying. Yeah, that game is pure chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about like understanding what each weapon does. Like once you get that memorization down, it becomes a completely different game. Do you guys celebrate by spiking each other and like throwing bodies off and teabagging?
It's mostly just seeing how many quacks you can get in before the next level. But
yes, such a good game. My favorite is the good book victories. When you can get that, that's an accomplishment.
I don't know. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh yeah, you find a Bible and then you preach. The duck goes wah wah wah, and if you preach enough to someone close to you, you convert them to you, and then you get them on your side, and you get double the points, or triple, or quadruple the points. Wow! Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I have not seen that. Wow.
Yeah, look for it. It's hidden in a few levels, and it's impossible almost to pull off. But if you get one, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Good game. What else did you get?
Stanley Parable, which was the original. They just kind of released a new updated one, but I got the original. Have you guys ever played any of that?
Is that the puzzle gaming one?
It's not really. It's like you're in an office, everybody's gone.
Oh, okay.
And the narrator is telling you what you're doing, but you don't have to listen to what the narrator is saying.
Okay.
You know, the first example will be like he went to the left side or something like that. And if you go in the right door, he just gets pissed. And then it kind of has that Portal feel where you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then you're finding a lot of clues of what's actually going on in this place, which is, it's a lot of fun. There's some pretty good stuff in there. At one point you're actually playing the game Portal because he's just like, the narrator just gets so pissed that you don't like the game that he's trying to give you that he's like, let's just play a different game. And he loads up Portal and like more like Minecraft, like he's the narrator and you are like building a house in Minecraft.
It's funny.
It's wild, but it made
interesting.
It made me wanted to get that updated version to see what else they added to it. But
has it been ported to like everything by now, I suppose?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it ever came to consoles. I think the new version probably did now, but I don't know if the original did. But yeah, I think my favorite thing is there's a broom closet in the hallway. And if you just go in the broom closet and sit in the broom closet, the narrator just gets so pissed that you're just standing in a broom closet doing nothing. And it's just like 15 minutes of audio, just listening to the narrator just bitch and moan that you're not doing what he says.
That sounds trippy. I'll have to check that out. That sale's over now, right?
Yeah. I think it was the last day I was just getting stuff. Yeah, I just kind of went through and got like every thing that was basically under $1 that seemed interesting, and probably never play it. But
I find Steam always hilarious because I don't download a ton on Steam, just a few games here and there, but ones that I want to play on an arcade or whatever, or arcade type games that I'll put on a wish list because I'm like, man, they're $10, they're $14. It takes 24 hours and then they're like 30% off on the game in your wish list. I was like, how is this even possible? I was a sucker for the first few times, but I'm like, wait a second. I think they're just pulling things out of my wish list now and just putting a coupon on it. Yeah. Every time I fall for it though.
Yeah. I haven't bought a game on Steam forever because I'm just like in that loop of what free games am I getting from Epic this week? And then I don't know, I've got like 200 Epic games and what do I need Steam for, really?
And you haven't played any of them.
I've played a chunk, but yeah, less than 10%, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm probably well below that too, yeah.
Yeah.
The one I did pony up for a little bit for like $14.
Oh,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's a survival game called Raft.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of that. Actually,
never heard of it.
I've watched a full Let's Play. I heard it got a big update recently.
Yeah, it just officially launched, so it's not early access anymore.
Yeah.
So I got it, and then I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. Load it up, and they don't have controller support at all. Like, there's nothing that even maps very well. So then I was using the Steam controller, which is not great either. So I don't know. I haven't played an actual PC game as the way the PC gods intended, but in a long time. Yeah. So I figured 1.0 with a survival game, you should probably have some sort of option.
It's tough though, because a lot of those games, those crafting menus like that, just want you to use like, hotkeys and toolbars, and because that's like the only game I still play with keyboard and mouse is 7 Days. Everything else, Raft is cool though. I've watched a Let's Play of like the early access from start to finish, and it does some things that are interesting, but it also looks a lot like one of those games where you're going to spend a lot of time just keeping yourself alive.
Yeah. From the couple hours that I played, it was a lot of like, you just never feel like you have enough stuff or enough you're always, I need more plastic, I need more wood all the time.
So
a damn shark attacks you and eats part of your raft.
Yeah. And a shark just basically follows you the whole time. Yeah.
He's a real bastard.
Also sounds like Ark.
Oh yeah, very much. Except you don't get to live on an island. You're just on like a 4x4 raft that you have to build out. But
and then you take it out in the ocean and a giant sea monster fucks you up.
Probably, yeah.
Like Ark. I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned Portal, because I wasn't going to bring this up, but you jogged my memory. So I had this work outing. I work in like IT-ish IS space. So like
I don't know how you add ish to IT-ish.
Well, I don't want to misrepresent that I am an IT person who like does actual important IT. I mean, I do different things, but I work in that space. So my team is a lot of dorky IT people like me, which is great. So for our annual work outing, I hadn't done it in a few years because of this weird thing that happened the last couple of years. I can't remember. But anyway, so we go to the local arcade that just opened up, this Kingpin's place in town where Biff goes to intimidate.
Oh my gosh. Every podcast we have to come up with me like chasing some kid down and beating him up or whatever.
But anyway, so in addition to like the arcade, they've got bowling and they've got laser tag and escape rooms. And I've never done an escape room because with my personality and the things I like, that just seems like absolute hell to me. And we did an escape room, and guess what? That's absolute hell, and I hated every minute of it. We did this like sci-fi thing, and it had this like Portal GLaDOS lady like talking to us through a screen. She was like all buggy and freaking out, and like clearly 100% inspired by GLaDOS. And yeah, that was not fun. Like we did really well to start, then we hit a wall, and then like we were asking for hints because we had to get through this like door. It was a 2-room setup, and you had to get through a door, and you had to get all these like buttons in green. The sequence had to be all green. So they kept giving us hints. Nothing was working. I think they finally like pitied us in the last like 10 minutes and just like overrode the door. So we asked the people when we're leaving, like, what was the trick? Because like they were giving hints like green follows red, like, and all this anyway. And they're like, oh yeah, that's kind of tricky because we can't really describe it because like there's not really a right or wrong. You just have to brute force it until they all turn green.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, well, fuck you. Like we were mapping stuff down on like a whiteboard and stuff. Like if I'd have known, we should have just been slapping buttons. So half an hour wasted. It was all right because like I don't mind the people I work with, but if I'd been in there with pretty much anybody else, I'd have just been like, this is my nightmare. And it kind of was towards the end. I'll never feel, I told this to some of my coworkers too, is like, I'll never feel guilty about just sitting down and watching an hour of TV because I got way more, I do just as much and got just as much enjoyment out of doing that as I did wasting it in that stupid escape room. So stupid. Hated it. I'm sorry to everyone who loves escape rooms out there. Like it was really well done, but fuck that.
I like the ones where you can go in and everyone has the same mentality. We're just going to break the record and just flip everything over. You're like, like just messing around the whole time.
Oh, we broke stuff. Like
you don't take it serious.
Shelves off.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that lock. I bet you I can break that open. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the best part is like we get down to the final puzzle, right? And then like nobody can quite figure it out. Like there's a display screen and then they're like, it was something about like all hands on deck, go to the hand scanner, right? Or like, so clearly you go up to this thing and it looks like looks like an arcade kiosk and it's got 4 buttons all in a row and then like a bottom button. Like, so picture all 4 of your digits and then a thumb button, right? So 10 buttons. So there's 2 guys,
boobs, but
so there's 3 guys standing next to it and you have to press the buttons in the right order, right? So they got 3 people all going like this. And then the one guy's like, we need more hands. And I'm like, there's 10 buttons. Maybe you need less. One person can solve this puzzle. And he's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm out. That was like my final suggestion. I'm like, if you're too dumb to realize that this is meant for one person with 2 hands and 10 digits, I can't help you. So yeah, that made me laugh a lot. And I was like, all right, well, clearly my advice is going nowhere.
So at Kingpin's, are the rooms themed? They're not just poorly done, or are they done well?
They're really good. Yeah, there's 4 of them right now. I imagine they switch them out every so often. So, yeah.
Not cheap though.
No, I mean nothing there is cheap, but yeah. I will say I crushed in laser tag. We played 2 rounds and I was the winner both times, like by a good margin. To the point where at the second game, everyone just like collectively were like, "Let's get Ryan!" I had like 40 people chasing me through a freaking. There was no winning. Like I couldn't. As soon as my vest came back on, I had like people pinging me, but still won. Had the lead. Sweating way too much for a game of laser, like dripping sweating from laser tag. Not a good sign. Yeah, but the moral of the story is fuck escape rooms. I hate them. Never doing one again. They are the worst. So, and if you're a person who likes escape rooms, there's something wrong with you. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, it's fine if you like them, I guess, but just don't invite me to one.
I would like to invite you guys to something. Not an escape room. Not my anus.
Oh, no, the planet.
But my aquarium.
Oh, I can't breathe underwater though.
Well, this is one that you just pay $2 and I'll show you this awesome show you this awesome aquarium. So I guess there's a thing when our family goes through surgeries, something drastic happens in our lives. Many years ago, when my daughter had a surgery, this was probably like 9 years ago, I said, "Daddy will buy you anything." Like, I feel so bad for you. And she's like, "I want fish." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good." And we bought like a betta tank, like just like a little thing. So my wife having surgery felt bad. And I was like, I feel like we should do something. And everyone's like, "We should get a fish tank. We should totally get a fish tank." And then I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And
I like how it's not like something really nice and sweet for mom. It's just like collectively like, we all need a fish tank.
Yeah, this is how we cope with things, I guess. And my kids were like, not just a little fish tank. Like, it's
a big problem we need to get over.
A big fish tank.
It has to be proportionally correct, yes.
And of course they do the research. They always do the research. And Petco's got aquariums 50% off sale right now. So it's really not that bad. And so I did the thing of just driving to Petco, sitting in the parking lot. Because, again, this obsessiveness where I'm like, do I go in? Do I not? I'm frozen. I went in, turned around, walked out. And then I was like, no, we're not doing this because I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to think it's fun for a week, and then we don't know what to do with them afterwards. You know, they kept on pressuring me. I sent a message to my good friend Ryan here, and I'm like, talk me out of this. Talk me out of this. And he's like, do it.
Yeah, I'm like, hell no, I love fish. Get a fish tank.
Opposite. And so
man.
Little did you know that was a motivated advice.
Anytime
I needed to get rid of some fish.
anytime Ryan, I mean, this is like, it goes back to the video game hunting days. Holding something and I'm like, do I want it? Do I not? And you're like, do it. And then I do it. You send me a Facebook link and you're like, buy this. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I guess I need Ryan to push me over the edge. But
you're welcome.
You pushed me over the edge.
Very happy.
I have a bathtub in my basement, and we are now in the process of adding the little swimmers to it. Yeah. That sounded really bad. Not the little swimmers.
For the record, I didn't advise you bought like the biggest tank you could get your hands on, but I was thinking you're going like 20 gallon. And then you sent me a picture of that thing, and it doesn't even fit in the 16:9 of my phone. It's wider than the image. And I was like, that's a big tank.
It's a big tank. And I was like, okay, we'll put a few fish in there. Apparently you can do 1 inch per gallon. So technically we could have, I mean, there's some stuff in there, maybe like 60 fish in this giant.
Well, 60 inches of fish.
60
so if
inches
you have fish
of
that
fish.
get 2 inches big, you only have 30 fish.
But if I get a whole bunch of neon tetras,
yes, which looks awesome, by the way,
I'll have a crap ton of those. So now I'm in this weird phase of my life that all I do is watch aquarium videos, trying to understand like what goes well together. What's a good look? What do I need? What are some of the hacks that I need to know about my hang on back filter?
I did secretly laugh to myself about all of that once you bought one, because I knew that's exactly what you were going to do. I knew you were going to be like down the YouTube rabbit hole. Like, I'm the fish expert guy now. Like, have to figure out what goes here.
Oh man. So
it's just like the amount of time I just wasted.
Definitely not an expert.
It's fun though, right? They're cool.
They are cool. I do find myself just like sitting, and I've been working from home, and so I just plop my computer right in front of them and just zen out, or as the kids say, vibe out, and
vibe out, huh?
Just vibe out, and
man, I feel so old right now.
Work and look at fishies.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
well, I'm excited to see it.
You're also excited to add to my aquarium.
Yes, I'm giving Biff fish because my son has an aquarium that is much smaller than that, and he has the horniest molly fish ever, and they will not stop reproducing. So I can only keep X amount of fish in this tank before like it's maximum capacity, and they all kill each other due to limited resources and oxygen and whatnot. And I've already given away 3 batches of fish, like about 40 fish. And I looked in the tank tonight, and my kids' slutty little fish had another batch, and there's 20 new babies in there.
I feel like I want to read this exact text that you sent me. Just
sure, go for it.
I mean, we
out of
haven't,
the blue, mind you. No, I hadn't talked to him in like 3 days.
Yeah, nothing happens. No conversation. I get this text message. Well, writer's slutty fish had another batch. Like I didn't even know you guys had fish to begin with. So I'm like, what? Slutty fish? What's happening? Like that's the very first thing I read. It takes me so long to process. Like, I had no idea you had fish. Is there something more that I need to know?
And then I offered you Molly, which could have been very confusing.
Also, yeah, which my daughter says is a drug.
It's yep.
And I was like, hey, we should get some mollies. And she's like, yeah, let's not. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, that's a drug. Oh, gosh.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got fish coming your way.
Oh, man.
And if they get eaten, that's fine. We'll make more. So
yeah, I just want to make sure that they're not reproducing in my tank.
Well, they'll be so inbred after a couple generations, it won't matter.
They're going to glow in the dark by themselves. No injections.
They'll swim upside down. It'll be great.
Oh, why did I go down this road? I have no idea.
Yeah, there's worse things.
Is there? I swore off animals where I'm like, no pets.
Fish are barely animals, right?
Well, a 75-gallon tank says otherwise. It says obsessed.
I mean, I think you're just prepping because obviously we're going through a massive drought and like heat wave and, globally. So you're just preparing yourself for the future where you're going to need both protein and fresh water. So this is smart. This is a good investment.
Yeah. Planning ahead. You've just justified it. Perfect. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I'm on the opposite end of that. I'm like looking at really cool power washers now.
Oh, man.
So if you guys need any tank cleanings,
come on and power wash my tank, which sounds really dirty too.
I thought you were to say taint there for a second.
I'll get prone up in all those little caves.
Oh yeah, you don't want to power wash my taint. You're gonna need a special nozzle for that. Isn't that called a bidet?
Yeah, I was gonna say my bidet pretty much does that for me.
Yeah.
You could use a few more PSI on that thing sometimes though. You
get the red nozzle on that one.
Yep.
That should be
a
business model for us. Like call it the taint washer or something like that. I feel like we should jump into that.
You ever use the bidet and then like it hits just right that it's like whoop, but you get a little lip up in there, it just shoots right up.
Yeah, that's what
it's awkward.
Yeah, and then you
Makes
like look
you
at the
jump.
pressure and it's on the lowest setting. I'm like, how'd this happen?
Yeah, very loose butthole today, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird feeling. Feel violated by a jet of water.
I still haven't experienced this. So
I bet it's like being fingered by an Eskimo. It's about the same experience. Unless you get a fancy bidet, where it heats the water.
Oh man, I did see a PSA. I feel like this is going to take us into a really gross, dark spot, but
that's what we're already talking about.
Feel that I got to go back, but there was a serious PSA telling ladies not to
the vabbing
put popsicles up the vagina because that is not healthy.
Yes.
And I'm like, we have to do PSAs on this? And it was serious.
It
wasn't a joke. It was serious.
Right. So I saw that one, and then 2 days before that, my sick coworker sends me this thing called, it's vabbing, I guess, or vaping. I don't know what you call it. But apparently some women take their juices and like rub it on themselves like a perfume in hopes that like the hormones attract a mate.
What?
Which just sounds like the grossest freaking thing. I mean, there's all sorts of memes out there that are hilarious, but like the idea of that just makes me want to like throw up in my mouth a little bit.
What's the name of this? What was it?
It's VABBING. It's how it's spelled. And if I have to understand that that's a thing, I'm sorry, world, you do too. And it's disgusting.
Yeah. So I can't look at popsicles the same way. It has me really concerned that
maybe they use the popsicles to do the vabbing, and that's why there's so much insertion.
Oh, fruit punch. I got something for you to punch. Yeah,
that brings us right back to those high school days where they talked about, like the frozen hot dog thing, and like it's the same scenario,
stick shifting vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't sound real.
It can't be.
Are there actual reported cases though? Like I know they were warning people, but did this happen? Like there's people on record with
I don't know.
Vaginal areas or what?
There was one in your school.
Ugh.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying like everybody knew of that one person.
Yes.
That was that.
They never denied it.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not auditioning for the next Jackass movie, maybe just keep popsicles out of holes that aren't your mouth. I think it's a safe PSA for people.
Mm-hmm.
Super weird. So weird.
What a rabbit hole we just
I don't like
down.
popsicle sticks in my mouth.
No.
I just don't like the texture of that. So
yeah, it's like too close to chewing on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too close to like the whole like tongue depressor bullshit.
Yes.
When you're a kid. It's the worst. Well,
and you go to like baseball games and they have that like ice cream that you have to scoop with a freaking.
It's gross.
That's
it's
the
like
worst thing.
Or it's not even a proper like popsicle stick, and they're thin, way too thin. They always break.
Just give me a spoon. Come on,
fuckers. Let me try to get us back on track. So I saw that Buzz Lightyear movie, or Lightyear, whatever the hell it's called. Didn't pay to go see it. I just have access to a Plex server. Somebody pirated that pretty early on. So I got a little less pissed off at its existence because they open with, in 1995, a kid got a Buzz Lightyear toy based on his favorite movie. Like, this is that movie. But I don't know. Doesn't really have much to do with Toy Story after that. It's fine. It's enjoyable enough. The only thing, like, well, people were pissed because obviously the lesbian couple in the movie, like, people are upset about that. But then I started thinking about that. Not that I have a problem with that, but what I do think is weird is, like, if this is supposed to be based on a kid's favorite movie from 1995, there were definitely not lesbian couples in animated movies in 1995. People weren't that progressive back then, and Disney certainly wasn't. So I'm going to call shenanigans on that whole premise, but I don't know. It's a weird movie. It's about time traveling. It's kind of like the multiverse, but with Buzz Lightyear. It's fine.
They say it as a movie. Do they break the fourth wall? Like, does the movie know it's a movie?
No.
Okay.
No.
And it needs Tim Allen.
It does, and that's a big problem. But
that is Buzz Lightyear.
It's not even a cameo or anything?
no.
Wow.
No, it almost has no association other than that opening sequence, and like you're vaguely familiar that Buzz Lightyear is a character that already existed. It's fine. Had no problems with it other than like they just probably should have not made it a Buzz Lightyear movie because it would have been he could have done anything, you know. I think they knew that they could probably get more people to tune into it or at least be aware of it if they use a Buzz Lightyear character, but it's all right. It's a little long for a kid's movie. But there's like comic relief through like this robot cat, like best friend that's pretty hilarious. So that's a thing. So I'm less mad about Buzz Lightyear than I swore I would never watch it. And I probably wouldn't have had it not been on Plex for free. And I suppose it would have come to Disney Plus at some point, but
yeah,
can't recommend it, but certainly didn't hate it.
That's Pixar at this point.
Yeah. Pixar has not been good in a long. I'm trying to think of the last thing that Pixar did that I liked. The last Disney movie that I truly liked, like a lot, and it pisses me off that they're squandering the franchise and the property is Big Hero 6. Like Big Hero 6 is phenomenal.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And like
one.
they've done a lot of like the animated series and the shorts that just came out, but I want a proper movie sequel. Like that was so good.
Yeah, you could do a sequel on that one.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem.
They have no problem like writing new material for a couple seasons of that show. So yeah, I'd like to see more of that. I don't think Pixar knows what they're doing anymore. I mean, they're making movies about periods and characters we've already seen in other stuff. So
yeah,
maybe the period one was just Disney. I don't know.
No, that was Pixar too.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Red Panda?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, period movie for kids.
What? Are you being serious?
Yeah,
yes,
pretty much. Yeah,
came out at the beginning of the summer. There's more to it, but the Red Panda.
It's the metaphor.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what kids were calling it these days.
Yeah. Well, see, I find it a little unfair because where's the like coming of age, like male, like white Yeti? You know what I mean? Like, where's that movie?
Gosh.
Nobody's making that. Come on, Pixar. Explain that to kids.
That's because he's on the back seat of a bus and it's getting a little bit bouncy, and all of a sudden he turns into a white Yeti. Is that what it is? He's got a height.
Teacher's skirt's a little short.
Yep.
You turn that page in your history book and saw some Aboriginal titties and a Natural Geographic. It's awkward. Pixar, there's your next idea.
Yep.
Fucking train wreck tonight. This is all over the place.
Well, I can talk about how progressive we were. We were in 1995 or so.
Oh.
Notice on Netflix they have a lot of the seasons from Nickelodeon's All That.
Okay.
Which
Amanda
is
Bynes and
yeah, basically like Saturday Night Live for kids.
Right.
And I used to love that show. The Good Burger stuff was the
I was gonna say Good Burger originated in that, right? Drake and Josh started out in that stuff.
Yeah, and
or one of them at least.
I think Josh did. I think. But yeah, I turned that on, and some of the stuff in there was like, "Oh boy, you can't do that anymore. You wouldn't be able to do that right now." And boy, it's.
Am I wrong, or did Amanda Bynes herself do like a really offensive, like Asian stereotype character? Some stuff.
So I haven't seen that. The Kenan Thompson, which is funny that he's probably the most prolific guy out of all of this because he's still on Saturday Night Live, I think.
Yeah.
He had a character named Ishibu or something like that, which was like a foreign. They never say where he's from, but he's just a foreigner, and he has the whole foreign accent and everything like that. And yeah, it's something you couldn't do today, especially the way it is now. But a lot of that stuff kind of holds up yet. I mean, the Good Burger stuff is still pretty good. But yeah, it's just funny going back to that because even my kids liked a lot of it too, which is surprising.
I'm trying to remember, like, I wonder if that's in part because I don't know if it's Hulu or Netflix, but I swear they're doing like, it's coming out soon, like a documentary on like that era of Nickelodeon and like
sure.
the coming of age, like the Nick era. I maybe that's why it was brought back out, but that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. So it's funny you mentioned that because Ryder and I had started watching Good Burger like a month ago because it was free to watch on YouTube, right? So I was like, and he brought it up, so like we hadn't finished it. So okay, well, let's go back and watch it. And it was not on there anymore for free. I was like, well, that's weird. I wonder why. And then I opened the flyer I didn't open a flyer. I clicked on a link to view a digital flyer for Target. And apparently this week is like the 25th anniversary special release edition of Good Burger, the movie on Blu-ray. So
wow,
makes sense as why they wouldn't want you to watch it for free on YouTube anymore.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So did your kids enjoy it, or was it mostly just you being like,
no, my kids like quite a bit of it. Mostly the Kel stuff. Probably he was, I think, one of the funniest on there, I would say. But
nice.
Yeah, it's funny, like looking through, like, where are those people now, you know? And that's probably what the documentary's about or whatever.
Right.
But like a lot of them are just like, and then they never did anything after this. And then, you know, or Amanda Bynes,
or they were strung out on drugs.
Crazy. Yeah. I was watching something not that long ago about the history and the making behind, it might have even been a YouTube series, maybe not like a proper documentary on, you can't do that on television. And I didn't realize that Alanis Morissette was on like 3 episodes of You Can't Do That on Television as like a 12-year-old.
Really? Just as, wow, huh?
She's part of the cast for a short stint.
Wow. There's only so many famous Canadians. You kind of have to get them on TV when you can, right?
That's probably true. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I didn't realize they added all that. So is there other Nick properties or just that?
I didn't look too much farther than that. I saw that one, and that was like my go-to. That was my favorite back in the day.
Yeah, I used
Pete and Pete.
But
Pete and Pete was good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. That might be
hey,
on there.
Dude, salute your shorts. I like that era. I didn't have it during I didn't have it during like the Amanda Bynes era because like the town I lived in at the time just wasn't on their cable roster, and Direct TV and Dish TV wasn't a thing yet. So I missed out on pretty much everything after maybe 91.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than like hotels or like VHS copies, you know, or the rich kid in town who wouldn't invite me over to watch it anyway. So I don't know why I brought that up. Just
hurtful.
Salt in the wound. Yeah. I'm a little sad.
A little
now.
bitter.
I heard that kid shoves hot dogs up his ass. So
yeah, I think he was in my class too.
Oh gosh. Well, the only other nugget of news I saw that was kind of interesting today was, I think everyone's kind of heard, but you know, Atari's 50th kind of came and went. They announced a 50th anniversary collection, which we could have talked about last time and just kind of slipped my mind because it wasn't that interesting to me, but it is an interesting collection in that they're really kind of going out of their way to like grab some obscure stuff. Like they're going to have Lynx games and Jaguar games. How well those are going to play on modern controllers or emulation, I don't know. That's cool. But I think today the news just dropped that Lego's doing it again. They're partnering with another video game company, and there's going to be a Lego Atari 2600, $250 again, roughly same as the NES. It looks really cool though. So you get like the wood grain, and then there's like and they all have secret compartments, but this one's got like a compartment that pops up off the deck, and it's like a retro 70s style living room inside. And then you can also build cartridges. Looks like it comes with 4 cartridges, and then it's got a little cartridge organizer that sits next to it, kind of like everybody had, but really cool. Also kind of surprising because that's not as big a pull, right, as like a Sega or a Nintendo even. Like Atari, that's a very nostalgic console, but that name doesn't hold the premium, I guess, for some, because $250 is a lot. I mean, I wouldn't pay more than the $99 I paid for my VCS. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. Just like the Nintendo one, there's a lot of cool stuff to it. A lot of, the Nintendo one is probably cooler because of the TV and how that works.
Yeah.
But this one has a lot of cool stuff along with it too. If it was just like the Atari console for $250, I'd be like, whatever. But the little dioramas and the cartridges and all that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. It's just such an iconic look too of a console. Like next to the NES, like that's one that's always like instantly recognizable for anyone. If you're old enough, I guess. If you're under 25, probably not so much.
Yeah.
Or 35 at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say under 35.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I showed it or like shouted out like Chris from Stone Age Gamer because like he's the big Atari dude. But yeah, I was like, this looks like it's right up your alley. And he pretty much said the same thing. It is, but $250, ouch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. I can see this one hitting clearance pretty quickly. I don't know. I love the NES and I couldn't justify the money to get the Lego one, mostly because I didn't want to put it together. I do really want one, but yeah, not going to happen. And it pisses me off because the NES one I never saw in a Target. Every time I go into a Target now, the 64 one's always there.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That is strange, huh?
Bullshit is what it is.
Huh.
Bullshit.
Well, we know that the 64 is superior, so.
There's been a lot of talk about how the good and the bad of the 64 on Twitter lately. Been kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I saw some box art. Like somebody was like, some game, like tell us what you love about this N64 game. And I took everything I had not to reply publicly on Twitter with not owning it because the 64 is an abomination.
Yes, you should have.
I should have, but I don't want to deal with the hate. So, because you can only be positive on social media. Sharing a negative comment just makes you a closed-minded. I'd have somehow been racist, sexist, and something elseist. Doesn't end well.
Yeah. We were just at Mall of America this last week. And we stopped into the Lego store there. And it's amazing, like, actually how many sets that they have that you walk into a Target and they just have the basic bear shit,
Yeah.
But the amount of stuff that they actually have, it's nuts.
Was there a queue to get into it?
Yeah, there was. So they have a limit on how many people. Yeah. How many people could be in there. It wasn't long of a wait, but
sure.
It kind of sucks because it's like, for us, like, we're bringing 6 people in here and we're not going to buy shit. We're just looking. So sorry, people.
Stand in line. Yeah.
And that stuff's crazy expensive. Like when you go to the store, it's stuff that you don't see locally anywhere, but you're going to drop $300-$400 on a set. So that's not going to happen.
I refuse to go back in there after my last experience a couple of years ago. This was probably pre-pandemic, just before pandemic. And we go in there and there's some worker and he's got this like weird, like caterpillar / sushi roll thing. He's like walking around, coming up to people. He's like, boop, 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 like bouncing off your, like up your arm and stuff. And I was just like, dude, get the hell away from me. You're freaking me out. And even my kids were just like, that's really weird, right? I was like, yes, we're leaving now. Jeez. I mean, get excited about Legos, but personal space.
Yeah.
I don't need your caterpillar Lego creation dancing at my arm. I'm an adult in your store.
We went, of course, we had to go to the main reason we went there was for the amusement park thing.
Okay.
Which we figured, hey, Valley Fair, when it's like really hot, no thank you.
Right.
Let's go inside.
Because no one else is doing that.
Right. And it was hot as hell in there too. So I don't know why they didn't have, I don't know, maybe it's just because they have like the entire top is just straight windows, so it shoots the sunlight into it. But
yeah, it's true. It's a greenhouse. Did you guys do the wristband things and just like let the kids go nuts, or what'd you do?
Yeah, we did. We shouldn't have. We did a wristband thing and because couple of my kids didn't take advantage of it as much as they should have. But you know how that goes.
Did you see Herman Lee there?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see Herman Lee.
No.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
I was at the Red River Valley Fair this weekend and saw an Asian gentleman with long hair, and I was like, picture Herman Lee ? to Biff. And then I think 3 days prior, I'd just taken a picture of like a pedestrian crossing sign, and I was like, Herman Lee? I don't know. I can't let it go. I'm sorry.
I saw him. It was him.
I believe you.
He might have still been at the Mall of America.
Did you guys do the underwater world then too, or no?
No, we didn't do that. We figured we could just go to Nate's. You know, he has probably a treadmill under his arcade cabinet, or under his aquarium.
You have to average money to do that.
Yeah, it's only $2 to visit here.
That underwater world is cool, but man, they bleed you dry on that. That is
an expensive thing. Yeah.
Ugh.
Plus, it's like you can't just sit there. It's like, get on this thing. We're going to push you through it. Get out.
Well, they at least took the tracks out. So now
they
can walk
did.
at your own
Okay,
pace.
so that's
which I don't think has anything to do with the fact that it wasn't efficient. I think it has to do with like, this is costing us more money than people just walking. So
yeah. Huh.
It's at your own pace, but it's still just like 20 minutes tops. And they always try to sell it like, well, you can go through as many times as you want.
Oh,
okay. Great. Let's see the same 5 sharks 15 times in a row. This is pretty good. I don't know. And there's always somebody who farts in those things. And then I'm always just like walking through. No, not me, but I'm running through so nobody thinks it's me. So, I mean, it would be fair to assume if you knew me that it was me, but it wasn't. I swear. Did you eat anywhere fun like the Rainforest Cafe or?
No, we pretty much did the park and that lasted pretty much the whole day and we were out.
Nice.
We met one of the cast members from the Paw Patrol. So,
cool.
Dreams are made. So
in costume or a voice actor who was just there?
Oh, it was a costume. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
It's actually Everest who is, I think something, he must have tweeted something bad online or something. You don't see him in the cartoon anymore. So,
well, now they get the damn Cat Patrol. So like those dogs have been put out to pasture. So yeah. Mall of America. We were just talking about that a little bit too. It's funny you bring it up because we obviously, like I said, just did our state fair, the Red River Valley Fair. Took my kids. Only went because they had like a flash sale. So tickets were half price online one day. I was like, I'll spend $24, and if I use them, great. If I don't, whoop-de-doo. So anyway, we go, but we're talking about like how nice it is actually at the Red River Valley Fair because like big open space and they just lay everything out in a line so you can see your kids. And I feel like they intentionally design rides at the Mall of America so that as a parent, you have no clue from the start point where your kid's going to get off. And it's not like you're in a major city or a massive mall with thousands upon millions of people that might just walk off with your child. Like, I don't know who designed that. I feel like a pedophile was like, this is the perfect escape. Like, we'll dump the kids off here and I'll walk away unscathed. It's really odd. It's a bad design choice.
Yeah. I mean, in actuality, it is a pretty bad. I mean, especially when you can just walk into the park and just hang around in the park for free.
Yeah.
There's got to be some of that for real happening there, but
and the one thing that's really bullshit too is that shredder ride. Cause literally they exit your kid into a toy store. Like that's hell. Like, come on. Like, kids are going to be like, but mom, can I have it? It's just the worst. And I'm sure it's more of a space requirement than anything, but I feel like probably could have done a better job for parents at Mall of America. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying Mall of America. I had a whole other family before we learned that lesson the hard way. So kept a closer eye on my current 2 kids.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been there at the park. So I'm good for that for a long time, I think.
Yeah. Well, now you got them hooked. Now they're into rides, so now you're going to have to do the Valley Fair thing. And
they were all excited to see, the people from all that, and they just weren't around on Nickelodeon Universe. I don't know why.
It's too bad.
Yeah, they'd walk around and people would be like, Who are these people? What's the big deal?
I bet it is weird when people like, because Kenan Thompson's been there as like an adult or something.
Yeah.
I bet it's like really weird to see a 40-year-old like Nick person walking through the Nickelodeon universe.
Be like, this is not my Nickelodeon.
I think I saw something where like Jack Black was either in like Wisconsin or Minnesota somewhere over the weekend.
Oh,
like,
really?
Some people took a picture with him. He just looked like a big stupid idiot. He had like the like Chinese like panda hat thing on and like a laser cat shirt. It was very Jack Black, but
I feel like if he wore like a t-shirt and sunglasses, he could go anywhere up around here and nobody would even know it was him.
Yeah, that's probably true. Wasn't that the whole Drew Carey bit? Like, that's why he loved North Dakota, because he could come and do comedy, and nobody knew who the fuck he was as long as he took his glasses off.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. I don't know if I have anything else. Who's a light? I'm trying to think. Anything else exciting happening in gaming?
I haven't been paying too much of attention.
I did have my first wild Xbox Series X sighting. One of the Targets in town I walked through, and they had 2 X in the display case and some S's, which...
And you didn't send me a picture and say, you need this, get it now. Okay.
I guess, yeah, I keep forgetting that you don't have one. I should have, yeah. The one box is really mangled. Like, I wouldn't recommend anybody buying that, but yeah, it was cool. I mean, obviously the supply chain then is catching up. Plus, I think Xbox has been way better about getting Xboxes to people who actually want them versus PlayStation, who is just...
Still have never seen one in the wild.
No.
Nope.
They don't exist.
I guess I can touch on that. So our buddy CJ's got that Replay Games downtown. He moved to a new location. I got invited to like come out for the friends and family. We all did. I was the only one able to make it. And huge setup now. Like, he's like prime real estate, though. I can't imagine what the square footage is costing him there. But a good visibility. But anyway, my point into this story is he had like 6 PlayStation 5s. Like, first ones I've ever seen anywhere. And he had like a shitload of them.
Wow.
And I asked him about it, and he said he did get most of them through scalpers at reasonable prices locally. But still, just kind of shocking to see that many of them. His new setup's great, though. Like, if you guys are in town, you should pop in and check it out. He's got an entire wall of gaming PCs now,
which is brand new compared to what he had in the past. Never had PCs.
Yep. And then he's got 2 dedicated Oculus like setups, like in their own area. The one wall is all for board games, like board game tables. Tons of board games to check out now. Yeah, really cool. Really big open space. It's got a little, so I could see it getting noisier in there because his last space is a little more compartmentalized. You could find like a quiet corner, but super, super cool setup. So I hope it goes well. And I didn't have a chance to talk to him much because it was full and he was busy working, but we went there. My son played Roblox on one of the PCs for 40 minutes. And I was like, all right, like, I think we've accomplished what we came to do. Could have just done this at home, but
that drives me nuts. My son does that every time we go. What do you want to play? Let's play Fortnite. Cool. That's great. Yeah, we could do this at home.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get back down there now. They're like open in that location. It was pretty sweet. So it's pretty amazing to see his business model working and succeeding. Like, I mean,
that's awesome.
The fact that he opened it and hung in there through the pandemic, when most things like that in town didn't. I mean, he was like the sole survivor in that. Like, I mean, there were like 2 or 3 in that vein. Pretty nuts. So good on him. It's a cool setup. Very cool setup. The hardest part is just like knowing what to play, which is why we usually just rely on CJ to be like, have you played this shitty game? It's like, nope, let's go. Yeah. I should bring all my crap down there and just see if he wants any of it. All that stuff I pulled out of my collection has just been sitting in the garage. Which I think there's a swap meet this weekend. Is anybody going to that?
Oh, down
St. Cloud? Yeah.
Well, I want to, but I cannot. Go for me. Find stuff for me.
I don't know if I want to do it either. It's just so hot. You know how hot it's going to be in there?
Oh, so many people.
Plus, I don't want to spend any money on games. I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend any money on games. And I don't want to set up a table. So at that point, it leads me with like, what are we going to do?
You could shop for your friends who are unable to because their wives are recovering.
And you're really just landing that on thick. I'm already giving you fish, man. What are you leaving me dry here? You're overextending. Yeah. Well, that might be a thing. I don't know. I don't have plans for this weekend. So if I get a hair up my butt, maybe I'll shoot you a text, Andy.
Yeah. I don't
There's
remember
worse
what
ways
I'm
to
doing.
spend a Saturday, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what we got going on. Summer's flying by, man. It's already almost August.
Yeah, it feels like it should be June, middle of June, but
yeah.
It's going to be,
or if you're in Europe, it feels like you're on the surface of the sun. So
yeah.
Not good over there.
Oh.
Cestus, we hope you're safe. We hope that your part of France is not burning, or all of Europe, which is, it's so weird. Like these massive forest fires. I mean, half of Canada was on fire above us last year, and it's just nuts. It's not good stuff. What we need is Biff's fish tank over there.
Nope, I'm preserving it.
Payload and put out these fires. And
nope,
I could power wash all that shit. They want me to.
Is there a way we can sign up? Is there a relief effort like volunteer squad? I think we got this covered.
You bring your own TV and your Xbox. You're like, I'm here.
I got the bidet. He's got the power washer. You got the fish tank. Problem solved. Weekend rental to the rescue.
I'll need a water line, but that's about it.
Yeah, minor details. It's fine. Well, stretch that one out. Biff, you want to take us out?
Love to. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of those good things. And you can find all things Weekend Rental at weekendpodcast.com. As always, friends, be kind. Rewind.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
Eskimo fingers.
Fish sex.